One of the questions that a lot of people ask is that, when you tell them that, hey, I've just managed to get into the UK, and someone may ask, how did it go? What did you do? And things like that. And one of the important questions that a lot of people ask is, how much does it cost? Okay. So when you ask someone how much does it cost, really you're not doing them justice. Like a lot of people will go like, hey, it's cost this much. Can you give me a breakdown? The most burning question is, can you give me a breakdown? So in this session or in this lesson, we're going to be looking at how much it costs to travel to the UK as a nurse aide if you are a single person. Okay, I'm going to do more videos of other scenarios of like if you're a married person, if you have a wife, kids, if you're looking after your brother's kids, or if you have been married and your wife has got a child or children from the other relationship that you're staying with. And so if you look at that whole scenario, you're going to see that the cost of traveling to the UK is actually differs. So if for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kuda and I am a Zimbabwean. I recently moved into the UK and I've actually helped a couple of people with the process, like the guidance, just the guidance. Please note, as you're actually watching this video, I'm not a sponsor, okay? I'm not a sponsor. I'm not an employer, I'm not an agent, get me right. And every piece of information that I'm going to be sharing in this session is just based on my experience, my observation when I was actually helping others. And please, I want to let you know that anything said in this video is just for education purposes. And if there are any losses, damages caused directly or indirectly through the information given in this video, I'm not responsible for that. Okay, make sure that everything that I share with you in this video, do your due diligence, and what I'm just going to do is just to help you. Okay, so with that out of the way, in the comment section, can you just let me know where you are joining from? And also comment your name. So yeah, I see I'm getting a lot of feedback actually. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down a scenario. Okay, I'm going to do a different session altogether. I'm going to break down a scenario. Let's say someone is between the age of, in fact, someone who is not married, someone who doesn't have kids, whether it's a boy or whether it's a girl, okay, and they're planning to travel to the UK. These are the people that are exactly on their very first stage, people that don't know the process, people that have no idea what to do. Probably it's a case whereby a relative in the UK or a relative somewhere has told you that I want to help you, okay, I want to help you and with this process and things like that. The first thing that happens is that a lot of people get confused, okay, with what to start first. In most cases, they're given a list of things to do, and some of you guys, you don't have someone who is really assisting you. And in this video, that's exactly what I'm just going to be explaining in terms of how you can actually break down the cost and what needs to be done so that you get the estimates. So this is the same formula that I've actually helped others, okay, that I've actually helped others to do. So for those of you who don't know me, let me just tell you a little bit about myself and my involvement in terms of assisting other people. So I'm into IT. My background has to do with IT, online stuff and things like that. So one of the work that I've been doing is to create websites for businesses that are in the UK. And one of them is a healthcare company. I've been doing a website for them, doing a little bit of management. So when they started recruiting, they wanted some of their employees actually to do the recruiting process. And the only contact that they had in Zimbabwe, they thought of me to say, Kuda, can you please assist one of our employees that we need to bring, assist them with the paperwork, understanding how to get things done and things like that. Because my brand name is called Kuda Online. My business is run on the internet. I'm always online, and so I was one of the people who was actually answering conversations on the go. And yeah, so that's basically my short story to it. And during that process, I assisted quite a number of people, and then at the same time, I had to go through the process myself as well until I go to the UK. So now I explain this much better if I'm actually on the computer. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab a pen and paper. Once you grab a pen and paper, I'm gonna go on my computer, and then I'm gonna go and break down things for you in terms of how they go about and in terms of what you need to do. And then some of the places I'm just going to put some fillers where you can actually put the amount of money. So yeah, that out of the way, thank you so much for joining me on this session, and let's just get on the computer and let's get things rolling.
Right, I'm actually on my computer right now. So before we get any further, I just wanted to let you know that we are teaching lessons, IELTS lessons in Harare, and we have got online classes and in-person classes. If you click on the enroll button here, you're going to see our prices for the online class and the other services that we are actually offering. So if you become a paid member, you're going to be given access to this website, and this website, when you get in here, there is IELTS lessons and there is a community where you can actually leave comments, and the tutor is going to be commenting on that. And there is also this section. This section basically has got videos that I've actually done in the past, okay, like couples going to the UK, what it is like. There's how to book IELTS lessons, how to conduct an online interview, how to do all these, including this very video that I'm actually doing right now. I'm gonna add this video to this library, okay, so that you can actually go through all the videos that I've actually done in the past. Some of you may be watching my videos for the first time, so this is actually one of the benefits that you get as well. And like a lot of people, they don't know how to book IELTS. This is the video on how to do that, how to conduct an online interview. At some point we're going to be asked to conduct an online interview, and quite a lot of things that we've actually added here, and some IELTS lessons as well. So anyone who takes part in our online classes or face-to-face classes has got access to this website. Okay, once you pay that, you can actually do that. And then again, we do have a Facebook group, and in this Facebook group, there is, at the time that I'm doing this video, there is 6,800 members. Make sure that you become part of this Facebook group. There is a lot of engagement, like 14 people likes and 74 comments. There's quite a lot of people. The results, 31 comments, the results that are here is just amazing. So this is whereby we give updates, and sometimes I do joke around as well. And check out this post where I said, thank God IELTS is not mathematics. Otherwise, if it was IELTS, if it was mathematics, it was just kind of a joke. I mean, to get people to speak, laugh as they're actually doing this whole process to the UK. And also, please check out the other video that I have done on how to have a good, you can check the video. Yeah, let me just see if I can scroll down. Okay, this video explains how I started off with a joke. Okay, it's a training that I did, and the joke was like, this UK process, if you don't lose weight, you're very strong. So in this video, I was just talking about how to maintain a very good state of mind. So you can be a husband, you can be a spouse, or you can be a partner, or you can be alone doing this process. You can be a relative helping someone who's going to the UK. You might not be the one who's going, but you have someone who is going. This video is going to help you. If you're the one who's going to be helping, who's going to the UK, this video can actually help you in terms of making sure that you are ready for the journey that is before you. With that out of the way, let me just go ahead and go to the point where I need to share. So normally I love to use Gmail. Okay, I love to use my Gmail account to do these documents. So if you go on Gmail, if you click on these dotted corners, if you scroll down, you're gonna see where it says Docs. Okay, now when it comes to Docs, Docs is just like Microsoft Word. Okay, make sure that if you have Microsoft Word, you can just use that. But the reason why I love Google Docs is because it actually it stays online. So I'm just gonna come here and then I'll say single person estimates. Okay, when I say single person estimates, and then here traveling to UK as an S8 as a single person. Okay, remember earlier on I said that a single person traveling to the UK. Okay, so you just need to do this. Grab a pen and paper and just follow this with me, and then we can actually do this together. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I hope you've got your pen and paper, and what I'm going to do is exactly what I do if I'm actually assisting someone. So my first conversation with someone is I have them look at this as this list of things. Okay, this list of things actually has all the things that you need to travel to the UK as a nurse aide. So let's look at them one by one, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you have all these things. So the first thing that I ask someone is that, do you have a valid passport? Okay. If their answer is no, then they need a passport. Okay. And up-to-date CV, this is something that needs to be done. And then TB test, definitely they have not done any. IELTS tests, they have not done any. Training and degrees and certificates, this has to do with what their profession, and also this has to do with the nurse aid training. Probably in this case, let's just assume that this person has not yet done the training, and then care certificate, police clearance, and this is the whole list that is needed. So now the first thing that I do is I kind of have a conversation with them over the phone to say, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done that? And then I collectively collect that information and sit down and create what I call a timeline. Okay, I'll call this timeline and estimates. Okay, and estimates. Okay, so this goes to the person who is actually assisting you as well. Let's say if you are helping someone to travel to the UK, you need to understand the items that I'm just gonna list down, and how to do that. So now, if you look at the list of these things, okay, we're gonna start off with so if you live in Zimbabwe, there's a lot of things that you need to do, and most of these things are done in Zimbabwe as well. So let us look at a situation of someone who is staying in Zimbabwe, and they've actually are ready to do that, and they have a sponsor as well, and or maybe they need to work on their documents. So the first thing that you need to start off with is the nurse aid training. Okay, nurse aid training and attachment. Okay, I'm doing this video in September. This is actually September, end of September. So I would say October. Okay, I would say October, because I kind of get a lot of questions from a lot of people who say, I need to do this quickly, and there are a lot of people, they need to take shortcuts and things like that. So now I'm actually doing the estimates and the timeline as well. October 2022, they need to do the nurse aid training and the attachment. So let's say, how much is that going to cost? Now you say equals sign. This is going to cost, it really depends with the institute that you're going, but let us put that in an estimate of about 250. Okay, it can be more than this, it can be less. Okay, so we're looking at the nurse aid training and attachment. Okay, so we also need pocket money for this person. Okay, pocket money. Okay, when I'm talking about pocket money, I'm looking at their transport, their internet, and things like that. So this whole process, I'm gonna put that at $100. Okay, and then time frame to finish this up, I'm looking at the nurse aid training. I'll give this 3 months. Okay, I'll say 3 months. Yeah. Okay, so if it's 3 months, okay, let me just put enter here. I'm gonna do this for you. 3 months. Okay, so basically that's what I do. Now if I calculate 3 months, that's October, November, December. Somewhere in December, they should be able to finish up their nurse aid training. Okay, let me just put this in bold. I'm gonna put this in bold. Okay. Now when they finish their nurse aid training, we come back to this list again. So we say we've actually put this on the timeline so that they can actually do that. So the reason why they need to do training and attachment, basically, you know, when you're coming to the UK, you're going to a place where you're going to be working. Is that correct? And you need industry experience. And a lot of people, when they're doing these applications to sponsors, they sound as if all I need to do is to get out of Zimbabwe. I want to get out of this country. As long as I get there, I'm going to figure out what to do. So trust me, if you're going to be working as a nurse aide, you need to make sure that you do the training. Okay, Now, a lot of people, they're going to ask, what about the online training that I can do? Yes, you can do the online training. At the same time, once you do the online training, you can also do you need to make sure that you do the attachment as well. So whether you do the face-to-face, like one of the institutes in Zimbabwe, you go to class, you do that. If you do it online, you do that, it's fine. You get the certificate, and you also make sure that you do the attachment where you get the physical experience. Okay, so this makes it easy for your employer. And then let's say now in December, this person has to book, okay, book IELTS. A lot of people, they cannot pronounce this word, IELTS, IELTS, okay, however you pronounce it, it's okay. So booking IELTS is $338, okay, excluding bank charges. So if you're helping someone, let me just say charges, okay, that's excluding charges. Let me just move this a little bit back, okay. So now a lot of people, when they are actually sending someone money for booking, okay, or they're giving someone money, or if you are raising your own money, there are a lot of people, they just raise 338 and forget about the charges. So the reason why you need to book IELTS, I'm going to give you a very good example. IELTS takes 3 years to expire, okay. It takes 3 years to expire. So once you do that, you know that you've got 3 years to work on the other documents and things like that. So once you book your IELTS, okay, you have actually booked your IELTS. So let's say if you book in January, you're likely to write in February. So we say, if you book in December, you're likely to write in February. So we say December, January, February. Okay, February is when they are actually writing. So there's a gap between December and February. What should they be doing during that time? So they're waiting to write the exam. Okay, so let me just put January here. Okay, let me put February here. February 2023. This is not 2023. Okay, so yeah, I would say IELTS exam. Okay, the reason why you book in December and write in February is simply because a lot of people in Zimbabwe, a lot of dates, they've moved because of the demand of people that are actually writing. So most of the days they're actually filled up. You can't go there and register and say you want to register and you get a date that is next week, so that you can actually speed up things. Okay, I hope you guys can follow. Okay, so I'm just gonna say January 2023. Yeah. Okay. Now after, in December, somewhere in December, if we go back to our list here, whilst this person is actually waiting for the date, here they have to start driving lessons. Okay, they have to start driving lessons. Okay, and then driving lessons, I'm not going to put an amount, okay, to get class 4 or things like that, but I'm just going to give an estimate amount. How much would that be? 250, 350, I don't know, any amount. Let me just put 300 here. Okay, that is for the lessons, for the car hire and everything that is needed. And then once that is done, including the ups and downs, I mean the transport money, the food money, and yeah. And so now, and then after that, in December, this person, if they don't have a passport, they have to get a passport. Okay, a passport, basically you just need to get a passport for 120. Okay, so 120, this is a passport that comes out in 7 days, I think. Yeah, 7 days. I stand to be corrected on this one. So I want you to think about, you know, when I'm actually speaking to someone, they say, hey, I cannot book IELTS because I don't have a passport. So I need to get a passport first and then book IELTS. So you can book IELTS with your ID. You don't need a passport to do that. So this is what we are saying. In December, they get a passport, okay, after the driving lesson. And then we can come back to our list again. Okay, our list, we have got TB test, that will be done later. Passport, yes. Proof of residence, vaccination. Okay, and then here we can say maybe vaccination. Okay, so when I traveled, I wasn't asked for vaccination, but you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this, this process. I'm just going to do this vaccination process and get the vaccination card in case I'm asked for it. So basically, doing this vaccination card is free, but you may encounter some expenses in terms of traveling, going up and down. So I'm going to put that at $10, okay? The ups and downs, money for transport, money for lunch, and things like that. So you get the vaccination card, and then you go to a place like weekends to get it activated, to get into the system and things like that. Okay, so now if you come back to our list here, we have got this is listed down. Let me just put bold and italics there, and then passport, I've actually listed that down, and then here a copy of driver's license, not expired, I've actually listed that down here, and then here we have got vaccination card. Okay, then once that is done, this is all done in December. Okay, and then we go to January. Okay, now when you go to January, this is when this person needs to start to do the care standard certificate. Okay, now the care standard certificate is a requirement by let me just say care standard certificate. So this is actually a requirement by some of the employers. Okay, by some of the employers. So depending if you do have guidance of someone who is guiding you, you can ask them, where can you do this? Some of the employers, they do have an in-house training that they offer, and then they give you that kind of certificate. It's a mandatory thing that needs to be done. And then as well as we are also offering that kind of training, and we issue you a certificate, and we are doing that $80. Okay, the price might change. Okay, I'm just giving you estimates. Okay, we are also offering that. You can actually get in touch with us, and then we're going to give you access to learning that to the institute that we registered with in the United Kingdom. So when you get your certificate, you're getting a certificate from a regulated board in the United Kingdom, and they can also track what you've actually done. We give you a member ID. If any of your employers want to ask if you've really done the exercise or the test, we just give them the ID, your ID number, and then they can actually check and confirm with the company. So that can be done somewhere in January. Okay, now that we are left with in February is when we're going to be doing the IELTS exam. So the goal here is to make sure that by the time we register and by the time we do the exam, all the documentation that we have actually done here, all the documentation that is listed here is in place. Okay, so now in January, this person has to do the TB test. Okay, TB test, it goes for $165. 165. Okay, and then once TB test is done, they have to do police clearance. Again, when it comes to police clearance, it's one of those things that you get for a very low fee or minimum fee, but all you need there is maybe money for transport and money for airtime and money to go and do the fingerprints, and then you submit, and then so there's an up and down that is needed. So I'm just going to put that on $20. Okay, police clearance, and I'm going to tell you why this police clearance is being done here. Okay, and then here let me just say March. Let's say March 2023. March 2023. This is when the person is likely to travel. And then now I'm just going to explain. Okay, police clearance is done. Let me just go ahead and do highlight this. Police clearance is done, and then IELTS TB test is done as well. Okay, and then now we have got reference letter, proof of residence, and the other thing, and diplomas here. I'm going to explain in a second. So the police clearance is done. Once this is done, also in January, you need to make sure that you get your driver's license disc. Okay, driver's license disc, again, this is transport money that you need to spend to go up and down. I'm not going to put in amount. Basically, you just go to CVR and tell them that you need to get a disc. Okay, so when you get your driver's license around December, you're going to be given this is driver's license, driving license and test. Okay, and driving test to get your license. So now when you get your license, they're going to give you in paper form. Okay, you don't need that paper form, you need to get a disc. A lot of Zimbabweans, they understand what I mean by disc, driver's license disc. Okay, driver's license disc. Okay, now once this is done, okay, this just transport money that you need, and you can put any amount that you want there, depending on with where you're actually coming from. Okay, probably coming from a long distance from from Harare. So again, here I'm going to put international driver's license. Okay, international driver's license. So I remember having a conversation with someone, and that person was actually saying, hey, is an international driver's license really important? So I'm going to say yes, it's important. There are some situations whereby, so when you get to the UK, you're supposed to exchange your disc driver's license so that you can get a British driver's license. So during that process, it's not a process that is instant, it's a process that takes time. Okay, during that process, you may need to be driving whilst you're actually waiting for your driver's license disc. I stand to be corrected again if this information is wrong. Okay, so during that process, you may come situations where you're supposed to produce your driver's license, and at that moment, whilst you're doing the exchange, that's when you can produce this international driver's license. But you can come across situations whereby you don't need it. You don't use the international driver's license, but we are saying make sure you get it. Make sure you get it while you're in Zimbabwe, while you have a chance, in case it's asked for. Once it's asked for, then you can produce it. Okay. And then someone again might ask a question that is a driver's license important? Okay, is a driver's license important? I want you to help me to answer yourself. Okay. Let's say you're an employer, okay, you're the boss here. Let me just say boss. You're the boss here. And you're looking into employing people, okay? And then you don't need someone with a driver's license. Definitely your work does not need someone with a driver's license, okay? And then here you've got 20 people that are looking for the same spot and they've got driver's licenses. And then here you've got 5 people that are looking for that same spot and they don't have a driver's license. Okay, you're the employer, you're the boss, the person who's watching this video, you're the boss. If you're gonna employ someone and you're given a choice to choose someone with a driver's license and you choose to choose someone without a driver's license, which one would you choose for? Definitely you're gonna choose for someone with a driver's license because it is an added advantage. A lot of people, they ask, if a driver's license is important, I'm going to tell you that it's in some cases it's not, but it's an added advantage. How many people do you think right now are thinking of going to the UK? And out of those people, how many people do you think they've got driver's license? Okay, so if you get that, then you would understand exactly the need of a driver's license. Okay. Before we move on, I want to give you a tip. When you're actually going to pay for your international driver's license, they do accept US dollars, and at the same time, they do accept your swipe, RTGS. So a lot of people in Zimbabwe, they understand exactly what I mean, that when you pay in US compared to paying in swipe, there's a little bit of savings that you do there. So basically coming back to that, all this is done, and now once you do your IELTS exam, that is in February 2023, you then now go ahead and collect your results. Okay, once you collect your results, make sure that when you're working on this, the IELTS results are the last thing that you get to say now you can actually start the application process. Okay, so during the month of February, again, the application now will start. Okay, the application for visa or whatever the case. So now let me just highlight this and then underline this and all this and put in italics and then increase the font a little bit. Okay, application starts. Now the application process is that you need to put a compilation of all these documents. Okay, that's when you have to do what I call CV compilation. Okay. Now, CV compilation basically it's something that a lot of people, some people in fact, may not be able to do on their own. So you may need to pay someone to do that for you. I'm just going to put $10 here so that they can compile and write a CV on your behalf. But it varies. Some people charge 20, some people charge 5, some people do it on their own. And then here we're looking at documentation compilation. Okay, documentation compilation. So when you're looking at documentation compilation, you're putting all your documents scanned all together. Okay, so we are looking at the process of doing your reference letters. Okay, let me just say reference letters here. Okay, and then proof of residence. Okay, proof of residence. and then reference letters here. Let me just ref letters here. Let me just say, yeah, something like that. And then putting all these documents together, the TB test results, the police clearance, scanning your passport, scanning your vaccination card, scanning your driver's license, scanning your nurse aid training, your certificate, getting your reference letters where you did the attachment, and that's the process of document compilation. So again, this varies with the people that are going to be assisting you. Some of you don't have scanners at home. You might pay for that service, and some of you may want money for transport to go to the different places that are available on the market to get some of these things done. So you may need transport. So on this process, I'm just going to definitely put a 50. Okay. This is just an estimate amount of money that I've actually added there. Now, once the process is done, this is when you need to connect with your sponsor. Connect with the employer or sponsor. Okay. Now, someone asked me, when is the best time to start looking for a sponsor, start looking for an employer? Okay. I would say if you don't have a sponsor or employer, you need to start looking for them on day number 1, because as it stands right now, the time that I'm actually doing this video, there is like a challenge in terms of connecting to employers or sponsors. I'm sure that most of you guys understand exactly what I mean, but a lot of people, when they are starting, some of the people, in fact, when they are starting this process, they actually have sponsors. So these estimates or calculations may work if you are certain that you're getting a sponsor, because at the end of the day, honestly, I just don't know. You might be able to do this whole process, and at the end of the day get stuck like on getting a sponsor and things like that. So yeah, connect with your sponsor. Now, when you're connecting with your sponsor, you need to find out the requirements for the sponsorship, like what sort of requirements do they need. And then you find out what is the admin fee. What is the admin fee for the sponsor? Okay, what is the admin fee that they are saying? For the admin fee, we need this much. And then when you get that, you put the amount here. Okay, I'm not going to put in amount because the amount varies from service to service. Okay. And then you also need to look at, let me just go on March right now, so that this month of February is not really saturated with activities. Now, this month of March, this is when you do what I call visa application. Okay, visa application. And you need to find out, visa application, I stand to be corrected. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how much it is, but it's not more than 400. So it can be more, it can be less, but let us, for argument's sake, let us put it on 400. And then you need to do an interview here. Okay, interview with employer. So you do an interview with your employer. Okay, you do an interview with your employer, and with this one, it really depends how much you can actually spend. Otherwise, you have to pay for internet because they do online, and then you have to pay me. Okay, I can teach you how to conduct an online interview. And again, like I said earlier on that time, if I go to our website, if you go here, you're going to find a video on how to conduct an online interview. Okay, so again, I can do a mock interview for you and then prepare you with the questions that they ask so that you can be ready and be confident on the camera and things like that. Think about my introduction. I was looking at you, I was speaking straight into your eyes, and I'm very good at that, so I can coach you on that. So it really depends with that. So here, for argument's sake, I'm going to put like $40. Okay, for doing that. Okay, that is if you're going to engage me. If you're not going to engage me, then you can put any amount there. Once you do the interview with your employer, you're going to be signing a lot of papers. Okay, you're going to be signing a lot of papers back and forth. You sign what is called an offer letter and things like that. You say, yes, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this contract and things like that. And then at this point, you get what is known as COS allocation. Okay. Now, let me explain a COS allocation. Okay, I'm just going to explain in layman terms so that the person who's watching this for the first time, they understand exactly what a COS is. Now, think of a COS as your ticket stating that you have found a job in UK, and this COS actually expires, okay, in about 3 months, I think. Okay, so it's the last thing that is issued, and it's actually something that certains, make sure that you're certain about your job in the United Kingdom. So once you get the COS allocation, this is given at the last point because you would know that since it expires in 3 months, you would know that you're not going to spend more than 3 months trying to do any sort of paperwork. Now think about it. If you were issued your COS in October, December, October, November, okay, October, November, December. Somewhere in December, your COS is expiring and you haven't done the police clearance, you haven't done this and that. So the COS is the last thing that is actually allocated to you because it carries dates and things like that. So yeah, that's a simple explanation of a COS. Now, once that is done, you sign a lot of papers, you send it back to them, blah, up and down, up and down. So this process, again, it varies if you're getting help to do this. If you're getting help to do this, definitely the person who is helping you needs some money. So let me just go ahead. When I'm talking about the person helping you, I mean you going to the internet cafe to scan your documents. So in Zimbabwe, most of the people here in Zimbabwe, of course in Zimbabwe, they don't have a printer in their home. So when I actually go to the UK, I realized that if you go to any house, they have a small printer, a scanner, anything that needs to be printed, most of them, they can print from the house, but it's not the case in Zimbabwe. So exactly, let me just put an amount there. This is just an estimate amount again, guys. That's $50 as well. And then when you're looking at the travel, I've explained the visa application, that's an estimate. Find out how much the visa is. Find out. So you do the visa in what is known as biometrics, okay? Biometrics. You do the visa in known as biometrics, and that's the visa submission. And then you wait for your visa to come. And then there is also flight, okay, accommodation, and there's also car, and there's also insurance, and there's also pocket money, okay. So again, I'm not going to put in any amounts of money here, okay. I'm not going to put any amounts of money, okay. I'm not going to put any amounts of money, okay. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to explain why. This is something that you have to calculate on your own and find out from your sponsor and things like that. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Pocket money. Let's say pocket money. Pocket money. Okay. So now, if I can explain the flight, why I didn't put a price, if flights changes, okay? Flights, tickets changes, okay? Accommodation, this varies with where you are staying. Okay, I cannot put an estimate. Just like if you live in Zimbabwe, think about it. If I can say, can you give me a price for rent in Zimbabwe? Okay, basically there is Warren Park, there is Mbari, there is Mfakose, there is Boro Delbrook, there is yeah, there are different places where people stay and the rent house varies actually. So and then when it comes to a car, again, you need to find out from your employer or sponsor that the nature of the job that you're doing, does it need a car? Is a car a must? Okay, some of them, they say, yes, a car is a must. And then you need to hear what they have to say. Some of them, they can buy a car for you. So it depends with your agreement. And then you find out. If you're going to get a car, definitely you need what is known as insurance. So in the United Kingdom, I've realized when I bought my first car, I needed to pay for insurance. And this insurance is calculated on several factors. Number one is actually calculated on your age, okay, your years in driving, how many years have you been driving, and then they can actually come up with a price based on that. A very good example, if someone is like 19 years old, their insurance is likely to be very expensive because probably they could have gotten their driver's license last year, okay, or if your driver's license here, years of experience is 1 year old. It's a different case with someone who has got 10-year-old driver's license. So insurance is paid separately, okay? So the amount varies as well, but it's something that you have to negotiate and ask your sponsor how the insurance goes and if a car is needed. And then pocket money, you definitely need pocket money. I'm going to give you a very good example. When I go to the UK, I had a friend of mine who came to see the house where we are actually He actually visited me the very first day that I got here, and then she bought me a lot of groceries and things like that. Okay, here's some stuff that you can actually cook. But what she bought me really wasn't enough to last for more than a week. And then the next week I had to find out to get more stuff that I needed and things like that. So they're gonna be use cases whereby you need to walk around town. Like for me, I love coffee. I sit down, I have my coffee. I sit down, I have my lunch, and buy some of the things that I needed to buy. So basically, that's the calculations that I can actually give. And then lastly, I'm almost coming to the end of this. I want you to make sure that you make 10 copies. You make 10 copies of your ID, and then 10 copies of your passport, okay, and then maybe passport photos. Make sure that you have passport photos all this time. 10 copies of your ID, 10 copies of your driver's license, 10 copies driver's license, any sort of identification. Make sure that you make photocopies of those. So whenever you're going to each and every office that you are going to, make sure you carry those. There are some cases when I was actually doing my applications whereby I was asked, do you have a copy of your ID? And then, yeah, I'm really organized, I'll just hand them over. But when I look at this person next to me, they'll, oh, we're gonna find a photocopying machine, yeah, okay. And then they go out, there's time delays and things like that. So I used to work with a file that had all my copies and things like that. And then the other point is that when doing this, make sure that you have a very good mindset, okay? Mindset, stay positive, okay? There's a lot of negativity around the move of people that are going to the UK as an aide that happens on the social media. And also, we also have a lot of WhatsApp groups, and there's a lot of discussions that are happening there. And you find that some of the people in our conversations, they get really agitated when someone posts a negative comment or someone tries to discourage them and things like that. I've actually done an entire video that explains about how to stay cultivated, how to stay motivated, how to stay ahead and things like that, especially if number one, a lot of people, they think that if they're not going to the UK, if they're not assisting anyone, they don't need help. You definitely need that. Make sure that you watch that video. And I've come to the end of my video. So now, looking at a single person, let me just come here and say single person, okay? Single person who is not married, no kids, okay, who's traveling to the UK. According to my experience, or according to the people that I've done a couple of these documents, a lot of these documents, okay, for different people who came for consultation, okay. So a lot of people, their estimates is plus or minus. Please don't get, are you ready to see this? Don't get shocked, okay. It's plus or minus 8K. Okay, I'm talking about this whole process. If I was gonna put all the feelers here, okay, if I was gonna put all the amounts, the nitty-gritties and things like that, and all these amounts, the ups and downs and things like that. So the amount is around this. Okay, so that's basically, if someone asks you a question to say, how much do I need? If someone says, how much is needed, it's really difficult for them to give you a very good answer, okay? So now I'm going to do another video again, and this video I'm going to be focusing on a married couple, okay? A married couple that is planning to go to the UK. We have got kids, we have got a lot of things. So basically that's about this whole thing. And I hope I've actually done a lot of good justice.
Thank you so much for attending this amazing session. I hope I've covered most of the information that you may need to know about traveling to the UK as a nurse aide if you are a single person. In my next coming series, I've got a lot of information that I'm supposed to unfold actually. I'm going to be looking at a use case of someone who's a single parent with a child or children, a couple that have got kids and things like that that I've actually mentioned earlier. I know I may have missed some information in this video and I stand to be corrected, but I guess I've given you a lot of information that will help you to kickstart please do me a favor. If I've missed out anything, correct me in the comment section. And if I've missed out anything as well, please add that in the comment section. And to all the people that are actually watching this, make sure that any information that is given is just for education purposes, okay? That's what we need to do to promote helping others that need information. So thank you so much for watching, and share this video as well. Bye for now.